Good morning, everybody. This is Mr. Lowe again. Hey, we are looking at lesson 7.3 today. So get your notebooks out. Today is a big day for us. We're going to start with lesson 7-3. Make sure you put today's date on there so we keep ourselves organized. So today's an awesome day because today we start adding fractions with unlike denominators. We are going to take everything we have done in the past, including estimating, finding a common denominator, and writing equivalent fractions, put it all together so that today we can add these two fractions. So let's go ahead with our solve and share. We've got over the weekend, Eleni ate 1/4 box of cereal. Freddie ate 3/8 of the same box of cereal. What portion did they eat in all? Well, eat in all means we are going to be adding. So I know I am going to add 1/4 plus 3/8. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and this is really important for us to remember. Anytime you are adding or subtracting fractions, I want you to stack those fractions on top of each other. So I'm going to rewrite this so that it looks like this: 1/4 plus 3/8. And then I draw a nice big long equal sign. And away we go. First thing we need to do is find a common denominator. And you remember the first question you should always ask yourself: if you said, can my smaller denominator 4 go into my bigger denominator? So can 4 go into 8? The answer is yes. That means 8 will be our common denominator. So watch what I do here. I know I'm going to rewrite these two fractions. So I'm going to make a fraction bar with 8 as my common denominator. The rest of it's pretty straightforward. 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 2 is 8. And 1 times 2 is 2. So you got to remember, you guys, when you're rewriting these as equivalent fractions, whatever you do to the denominator, the bottom number, you have to then do to the top number. That's going to be the key today. Once I'm done with that, now I just add 2/8 plus 3/8 is 5/8. So that is the math for today. We're going to go ahead and do several examples and make sure we are understanding this today. So pencil paper out. Here we go. We've got 1/2 plus 1/6. First thing I need to do is write that down in my notebook. I'm just going to go ahead and stack them right away. 1/2 plus 1/6, and I make a nice long equal sign. Your notebook should look just like mine. When we do that, we need to figure out what our common denominator is. Well, first question I'm asking myself is, can 2 go into 6? If my answer is yes, which it is, that tells me that 6 is my common denominator, and it is my lowest common denominator. 6 times 1 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. And now I'm going to add these two together. 3/6 plus 1/6 is 4/6. So now I'm going to go over here to my board and I'm going to fill out all of this information. The least multiple that is the same, in other words, the LCD, lowest common denominator. Lowest common denominator is the lowest common multiple. We said was 6. Now I'm going to rewrite those fractions. So 1/2 becomes 3/6. 1/6 stays 1/6. And now I get 3/6 plus 1/6 we said was 4/6. So far, so good. Now we got this wackadoodle thing right here that says or. What they're telling you to do right now is they want you to simplify that fraction. So 4/6 can be simplified or can be reduced by dividing the numerator and denominator by the same exact number. It's kind of like opposite of what we did up here. We are now the opposite of what we did up here. We are now looking at dividing now. Well, 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I would get 2/3. So that's how we simplified. Now, Some of you might be asking, Mr. Lowe, I think I remember seeing this in Success Maker, where they would do 3/6 here, and I would add 1/6 here, and I could simplify before I added or subtracted. This is what we call cross simplifying. Remember, I take a denominator, 6, and a numerator. Well, 3 can go into 6. So I say 3 goes into 6, and you can go crossways. It can go up and down too. I don't know. I just did it. I guess I'll do it up and down. It'll be easier to understand then. So we'll say 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. Trying to think of what I did wrong. I feel like I did something wrong. Oh yeah, this is not going to work because we're not adding, we're not multiplying. So never mind that. You want to be able to simplify it. You want to look at what number can I divide evenly into both 4 and 6. And it's got to be the same number. In this case, it's going to be 2. Let's do another example. Sorry, I had a little mental lapse there for a second. All right, so now we got 1/9, we got 5/6. Again, stack them. 1/9 plus 5/6. Think in terms of common denominators. Can 6 go into 9? No, it cannot. 6 cannot go into 9 evenly. So to find my common denominator, I need to list out my multiples. I've got 9 here. I've got 6 here. Start with the lower numbers. 6 times 1 is 6, times 2 is 12, times 3 is 18. Now I can go over to 9 because I know 9 times 1 is 9, but 9 times 2 is 18. 18 is my common denominator. Here's what that means now. When I go and rewrite these as equivalent fractions, so I know 18 is my common denominator, I'm going to make my fraction bar. I'm going to make these automatically going to be 18. 6 times 3 is 18. 5 times 3 is 15. And then when I do 9 times 2 is 18. 1 times 2 is 2. And 2/18 plus 15/18 is 17/18. And if we estimated, we would say that, well, 1/9 is almost 0, and 5/6 is almost 1 whole. So our answer should be about 1. And there you go, 17/18. Yeah, that's about 1. So I think we're doing pretty good. As far as what I need to fill out, well, what did I rename 1/9 as? 2/18. What did I rename 5/6 as? 5/18. And then I just simply add those two together and I get, or not 5/18, 15/18. And then I get 17/18. All right, today, focus, right? We got to do a lot of different steps today. You are going to need to, I would estimate if I were you, just because it's a great place to start, but you are going to need to find a common denominator, the lowest common denominator. You are going to need to write equivalent fractions, and then you are going to add those equivalent fractions. I will be around to help if there's need. Just make sure you raise your hand, and I can do that. Make it a great day, you guys.